Have you heard of that new platform for selling things online called WhatNot? WhatNot? It's an app and a website, and I tried it out. So here is my review and how it went for me. I first heard of it because Gary Vee mentioned it on his podcast. Well, he mentions it all the time on his podcast. He talks about it all the time. He might have said, but he probably has a piece of the pie in that one. But the gist is that he said it's live selling, like live online auction selling, and that China's been doing it already for a long time and making like $1 billion+ in sales. So that it's just starting to take form here in the US. This place I see something similar is TikTok. So when you're scrolling on TikTok, if you're on TikTok, you'll have moments where you'll scroll past a live. And a live, some of them they're just chatting. Sometimes they're doing things. Sometimes they're selling stuff live. And that they're often, I see women with handbags. So they have like a shop that sells handbags. And the whole racks behind them are filled with them. And then they're holding one up and they're talking about all the features and they're showing it to you. And right there and then you can click buy. So it's this live way of selling, but it feels very salesy. So WhatNot is exactly laid out like that. You can schedule your live, you can have clickable links, but right then and there you run auctions on things. And you can sell basically anything you want. I had a bunch of clothes still to sell, some new with tags, some used, and it just seemed a lot easier than going on eBay and making 1 million separate listings for each thing with measurements and blah, blah, blah. This way you can talk about it, hold it up, show whatever flaws or whatever perfect things, show every detail of it, and then hit auction, and then it starts timing down. The auction times are often like 10 seconds long, 15 seconds long. I think the longest you could do is 30 seconds, but most people do 10 and 15. A lot of the stuff you'll see on there, and I'll drop some links in on here, are some screenshots, but are tons of perfume sellers, tons of streetwear, tons of sneakers and bags and makeup and skincare. Now, this all appears to be new. I don't understand how they have so many. The perfume guys are literally like auctioneers. Come on, chat, come on, chat. All right, we got 10 seconds. They always hold it up here. 10 seconds, okay, this is a really good one. It's $140 new. Come on, guys, come on. It's just this kind of like crazy, chaotic thing. Well, and then it sells, the perfume sells. So let's say it's $140 new. Often they'll still sell it for $60 or something. My feelings, I'm guessing, but it seems like it has to be knockoffs. I don't really know. Anyway, it's fascinating, and I'm exploring it for selling all sorts of stuff. So I did 2 clothing ones, one for all menswear and one for women's. And then I threw in menswear because I like to wear menswear, so some other women might too. I'm going to do one for baseball cards. I'm going to do one for art. There are people on there who are artists who will do a live painting, and then when they're done with it, auction it. So they're kind of just hanging out with their viewers. And you can do that sort of chat where the viewers can type in and then the person doing the auction can read it and, respond verbally. But some of these people are just painting during that whole time and then auction off. And so it's really fascinating. I think it could become very addicting very easily, because when that auction is going and you've got 10, 9, 8, 7, you're suddenly just hitting that buy button or that bid button, and it jumps for things that are desired, which is, I found, perfumes and stuff. It jumps fast, and suddenly you could pay $130 for a $140 perfume. And anyway, I feel like it feels like gambling, and it has a real risk of you buying stuff you don't need. But as a seller, so far it's interesting. It's also weird because you're standing up there becoming a salesman. At least if you're selling on eBay or doing a listing, you can just write whatever you want in the description and be as salesy as you want, but you're not standing in front of people going like, hey, you guys want to buy this? This is really great. This is why you should want it. It's a very strange feeling. Oh, you might have to go in the other room to listen. Hasta Maurizia, if you guys are fans. I do have this one really amazing Marni top. It is very cool. But I've already, seen some repeat names that are, the next time I did the live, they came and said hi because they got an alert I was on live. So I don't know who they are exactly other than by their names, but there's been lovely interactions too. So it's been very fascinating. I was exhausted after the first one because it was 70 minutes that I did, but I sold that time about $140 worth of stuff. And they're going to, WhatNot will take, I think, around an 8% cut, which is less than most other sites, less than eBay, etc. And you have to ship within 2 days. Now, right now they had a special, so if I joined WhatNot and then went live for an hour and a half or an hour and 50 minutes and sold $150 worth within that time frame, then they would give me another $150. I don't know if that's happening when you're watching this, but I did it. I worked hard, and you could split it up. I did it between 2 lives because it was too much time. I was burned out. I think nighttime is your best bet, after people are home from work. I don't think middle of the day on a weekend. I don't think while people are at work. You can, another story is that when I was listening to the Gary Vee podcast, he was saying that, he had people call in, and they're a cookie company, but they're a mail by order cookie company. And they were asking for his business advice. And he was saying, well, what are your sales so far? And they said, we go live once a day. It was from 7 to 8 p.m. every night, 7 nights a week. And every month they take in $10,000 in sales on WhatNot alone for doing that 1 hour. And they said, how can we expand our business? And he said, they wanted to expand outside of WhatNot. And he was saying, you're crazy. This is clearly very successful for you. What you need to do is just hire somebody to do it for you. And then if you make that in 1 hour, what if you hired somebody for 3 hours a night to go live? And you could pay them $20 an hour. So I just thought that was genius. It's just very much intrigued me. I have a lot of baseball cards to sell, so I'm going to try that next. I think, although you still have to do listings, you don't exactly have to do listings because the video is recording your sale, so that as long as you get everything shown, display the thing, you have video proof of a sale. So if that person's trying to come back to you and say, you lied about something, you can go back to the video and use it as proof. So that is kind of a nice thing that I appreciate, but that'll be trickier with baseball cards because there's so little. I'll probably still need to do listings so that I know how much I want to get at minimum for each one. I have somebody that wants me to help sell her Beanie Babies. I think that's a good place for it. People are selling used, they're selling new things, they're selling vintage items, clearly cookies and food, I guess. I haven't spotted much more of that yet there, but I think right now it's still people are still just learning about it. So right now, if you're interested and you have stuff to sell, I think there's a really good opportunity to get your foot in the door there. And although a lot of people, especially the ones doing the perfume or the bags or the makeup or the streetwear, are very sort of salesy, I think they own a business and they're selling the stuff from their business. Those of us who just have stuff to sell, like clothes, shoes, whatever, you could do it a different way and it'll probably approach a different crowd in a good way. So in conclusion, I've done it for 2 separate sales, both closed. In total, I've made $200. That does not include, they're going to take their 8% cut, and it does not include the bonus I get for having done within a week's time, the 150 minutes and $150 in sales. It's a lot of work. You still light yourself. You still try and look cute. You still have to be very on. But I think it's really interesting. So if you have a business or you want a business or you do a craft that you want to sell, or even somebody mentioned, oh, what if I want to just clear out my storage unit? Then do a live that sells everything off from your storage unit. I think it's fascinating. I think you could think outside of the box about how to use it. I think if you're shy or you don't want to be on camera, you could still figure out ways around that. For example, the artists or the baseball cards, the camera's actually just pointed down at the table, and then they just use their hands to demonstrate stuff. Oh, and you can use moderators who can help you so they can answer the questions as needed, or just help click on sales. So it's pretty quick to learn the platform. I think it's interesting. I think if you're interested in selling stuff, or you need to sell a bunch of stuff off, it's definitely quicker than eBay or some other format. So let me know what you think if you tried it, how it went for you. You might find me on there, or I might burn out. We'll see. But that is, in a nutshell, how it went for me and what I think. See you later.